Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, market crash. We told you the numbers were not appropriate, but you guys know what to do. I'll just leave it there. You guys can make comments down below because you guys know what to do. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know what people are going through today, because they are going, oh my God, the market was going to happen. It's a funny thing. As our travails through our live streams, I did mention it on Monday or Wednesday. I did mention that maybe we're going to have these type of days because of what the Federal Reserve did this past week. Nothing. They should have increased the rate, but they did not. Therefore, we're going to have market fluctuations. So you're going to have to be prepared. You guys know what to do here because you're part of the SSN Nation. You're wealth builders. You know good and well that you're supposed to be doing dollar cost average down for sure. So when we have drops, you got to buy more. That's the rules, ladies and gentlemen. Just so you understand the game, you're going to build wealth over time and there are going to be hiccups. Well, we had a hiccup. Why was there a hiccup today? Well, it's very simple. You guys here in the SSN Nation, we may have a few people that are new, so I will explain this. Just make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you let other people know that you're in the house, and the YouTube gods, podcast page gods know that you're in the house. Twitch gods, Facebook gods, make sure you hit the like buttons, ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you're watching from. Let's recap. Tariffs. Again, it cost the citizens more money. If the United States puts a tariff on any country, any products imported into the United States costs you, the buyer, and you, the importer, the business that gets it from customs. It costs you more, which in turn means you have to charge your citizens more. What does that mean? Citizens have to pay more money. 80% are already living paycheck to paycheck. So even if you say it's only 10%, well, 10% more of living paycheck to paycheck still means they may not be buying. Once you understand they may not be buying, what comes next? The business has less revenues. So now what comes next? We're going to have to lay off a few people. We damn sure won't be hiring. See how the supply chain actually works? People get hurt. Now, you guys already knew all this, right? But we have new people watching this channel maybe tonight. So I have to let you guys know we're ahead of the game. The SSN Nation is always ahead of the game. They know what to do on days like this. We're still doing the salsa dance because we have dividend funds that gave us free money, passive income. And since today was down, you know what happened? The dividends, they're going to reinvest at the lower price points. Or maybe you don't reinvest automatically and you just collect the cash, then you make investments. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, you have to know the first part before you know the next part. So once you understand your own businesses have to start laying off people, layoffs mean less tax revenue, less people that can pay off their loans. Because remember, 80% live paycheck to paycheck, so you know what that means. That means some bills aren't being paid. Because you guys know we had a video out and we talked about on live streams that people are skipping their car payments. If they're skipping their car payments, that's so they can pay their mortgage, their rent, maybe some credit card bills. That's a bad sign that we were talking about. So you see, it's crumbling right underneath your feet. The stock market is only for those that invest in it. The rest of us who do not, and I shouldn't include me with that because you have to have money in the stock market. The rest of you just get to sit by and just not pay attention unless you're here. So here's how we do this. Remember this week on Monday, I was talking about the 10% decline in the value of the dollar, which also means it costs you 10% more to buy the same thing than you could have 6 months ago. That's an inflation. So there you go. So another inflation. People don't buy. So are you guys starting to add up everything that's been happening that we've been talking about? You knew things were going to have days like this in the stock market. So on Wednesday, I was telling people, which is quite ironic, I was saying, hey, maybe you should put a stop loss. Make sure you don't want to lose 10 to 20% of all the gains you've accumulated over the last year or two or three. So maybe do it. That was Wednesday night live stream, by the way. How on timing, on brand was it? Because this is the channel. Stop struggling now, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, the heads up was there 2 days early. Another reason you don't want to miss the live streams. You never know what's going to happen. All right. So again, some people might have taken up that advice and said, you know what? That makes sense because I bought NVIDIA around $80 a share and it's at 180. Why should I sit there and watch it go from 180 to 150? Why should I do that? Well, it went from 180 something to around 170 something now. It lost about $10 to $15 a share. So again, not saying that it can't bounce back up. All I'm saying is, why lose that profit? You can always buy back in. So one day, not bad. But if it happens another day and you lose another 10%, that would be bad, right? That would be like a market meltdown. And it could easily happen, which is why I've made videos to let you guys know all of the bad signs. The financial chaos, the stock market, because it was doing all-time record highs, does not mean it's going to keep going. It's just masking the overall problem. Inflation went up 0.3%, which they haven't released yet. So it's going to be 3%, 3.1% inflation this month, not including food and energy. After you include food and energy, clearly it's going to be more than that. And that's going to be year over year, right, for the month of July. Job losses. Manufacturing is under PMI, is what it's called. PMI is under 50. When PMI is under 50, that means the manufacturing sector is losing jobs. And I will repeat, this type of economic strategy has been tried before. Three times right before the Great Depression, last Trump administration, but thankfully we had a Biden to stop this craziness because it would have been an extension of what's happening now. He lost the most amount of jobs. There's only two presidents that lost jobs in the history of the United States. Trump is one of them. Okay. So we're at it again. They fake the numbers. And since they're faking the numbers, today, Trump fired the Bureau, BLS, the people that do the statistics to tell you what's going on. And because it was bad news, instead of owning up to the ridiculous economic situation that he's putting Americans in, he fires the person, the BLS chief. Can you guys believe that? After a poor jobs report, like she was supposed to lie. This is incredible. Incredible. A leader that does not own up to a kid for you. Right? A person that never has to hold themselves accountable for anything. Fire the person that's giving the report out that's saying that you're effing up. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. So now that you have the job losses, now that you have tariffs incoming, now that you have the dollar value decreasing, all of this is going on. Some of us are doing the salsa dance because we have passive income coming in from dividends, irregardless of the stock market, getting paid. The stock market always goes back up. You know what you have to do. If it's anywhere near your 52-week low or within 10 to 20% of your 52-week low on that stock, you should be buying more. ASAP. It's the weekend. You'll have a couple of days to think about it on Saturday evening when it opens up for the 24-hour trading, right? So all I want to do is warn you guys, do not panic. Let panic set for everybody else because you know what to do. What did Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger say? When there's blood in the streets, that's when you're supposed to buy. Just keep that in your head for the rest of your life if you're going to be in the stock market and an investor or person that thinks about any type of business, any type of investing. All right? Let me know what you guys think. I know I went on a long rant, but let me see who's in the house tonight. We have post-retirement travel, Mr. Worldwide, the investor in the stock market, in the real estate game. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline, hello all, let's do this. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. There's a silver lining with everything that happens with the economy. You guys know what's sitting on the fence right now is the housing market is supposed to implode. You know that should have imploded already. But that is, I don't know how it hasn't imploded yet, but I kind of do. It's because there's so many people that have 2%, 2.5, 3%, 3.5% mortgages. So it makes no sense for them to sell, and it's manageable. Their price is manageable, even if taxes, your property taxes increased and your insurance went up. You could still, these people who bought a $300,000, $350,000 house and only has a 2.5% mortgage, they're paying like $800, $900 a month, plus their insurance and property tax. So they're doing fine. The problem is when you have another 20 to 30% who actually bought in the last 3 years, where their rates are 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, and some even 8. They're locked. Their equity could be dropping, so they can't sell it really. They're going to be locked and they're not going to be able to pay for it. So that is the next trigger that could happen. So just be ready, ladies and gentlemen. Just be ready. Post-retirement travel, he says, backed up the truck today. See, he was ready. This is what I'm talking about. See, exactly the point, ladies and gentlemen. What was the title today? market crash. We told you so. Here's what to do every time. And post-retirement travel has already answered the question. What do you do, ladies and gentlemen? You back up the truck, just like he said. We loaded up today. Here's your chance to get in. It will come back with a vengeance. He's exactly right. You got 1 year, 5 months, though. Well, oh, wait, this is August 1st. 1 year, 4 months to go. December 2026. Make sure your credit is at 775 or higher. That means your debt has been reduced substantially. Make sure you buy up some of these cheap stocks on this dip, because this little situation is only temporary. It will go down. It will come back, because we did the tax cut, tax break. We have these companies buying their own shares of stock in the billions. Don't worry, the game's not over. What this was is all of you who are afraid, who sit there and go, oh my God, I lost like 10%. I lost 5%. I lost 3% today. Freaking out. So the rich guys need you to sell your shares so they can buy them up. Okay? That's literally what this is. Remember, 93% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of the wealthiest. So all they need are days like this where you say sell. But as post-retirement so eloquently stated, backed up the truck today, I'll repeat. We loaded up today, I'll repeat. Here's your chance to get in. I love all of that. It will come back with a vengeance. There you go. But in the meantime, as it wallows down low, that's your time to pick up some pieces. You don't have to get crazy, but you should be in the game. Because I'm going to ask you guys one vital, important question. If you're, well, the United States, or any country, if somebody's watching abroad outside the US, if your country has a significant deficit, your country does tax cut, tax breaks to put back money from the hardworking people into the hands of the wealthy, it's just a matter of time that there's going to be a problem financially. Then think about, is your country a capitalist system? Where am I going with this? Well, I'm going to tell you. If you're in a capitalist system and you allow corporations to have stocks and shareholders, and they control corporations, then they have a allegiance to make sure that they create the most profit for the corporation, to give out dividends and make money for their shareholders. Their interests do not lie with everybody else. So therefore, you have a dichotomy between capitalism and something else. And when capitalism keeps having the top 10% being able to suck up all of the wealth, then that means the lower 90% eventually are going to have a problem. That eventually has turned in one time, or was it twice, or was it 3 times, or was it 4 times, a Great Depression type of event. That's right. You didn't live in the 1800s, so you don't know nothing about it. You didn't live in the early 1900s, so you don't know about that one either. But everybody on the planet knows about 1930s Great Depression. But see, it's happened before. And without knowing history, then you can't plan the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, what else has happened after the stocks crashed? It's the duty of the Federal Reserve and the government to make sure corporations don't go bye-bye. And therefore, they will always be able to march on forward, whether we have to bail them out, whether we have to give them subsidies. So now that you understand why you need to be in the stock market, why you need to be in asset management, asset under your control, assets that pay you, because here we are right now today. I'm going to explain something else because I got to talk with you, the gold and silver stackers. We got to talk. All right. We got to talk. EV Place, another person that was doing the salsa dance today. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline, the investor who's happy. Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you. Got a few bags of MSTY under 18. I know. Could you see that? I know. And SMCY. Did you see all of this? Oh my God. It was just. It was lovely. It was lovely to eat. Oh my God, it was crazy. Some blood spots on bags. Exactly, man. Exactly. I mean, oh my God. I could not believe all this going down. And you know what's even better? We're talking about Yield Max ETF, ladies and gentlemen. That's MSTY. They do option income trading and they give their dividends to the stockholders. And when stocks go down like this, the option market goes crazy. And so, therefore, I expect next month to be a very good month for Yield Max ETF stocks. The ones like MSTY, SMCY, all of that. I'm expecting that to be nothing but yum, yum, yum. And you know what, though? I think that I didn't get to MSTY today. I was doing some other things as well. And I think it's near my 52-week low for sure. For sure. I think it is. It should be sitting under it. So I should be good for Sunday night doing the early trading hours. I should be getting some more. So that would be awesome. I mean, I'm sitting here excited, eating it up. SMCY. I mean, it was everywhere. It was just like a beautiful thing. Just anticipation. We knew it had to happen sooner or later. Okay, if you haven't gotten your apps and received your free shares of stock, then you have to do that, right? I'm talking about the stock market, the market crash. We told you so. We told you there was underlying currents. We had to know that something was going to happen sooner or later, and it finally did. This gave people an opportunity to get in. Maybe not on the NVIDIA level because it's still going to be in the 170s or so. Maybe not in the metas, but when you start talking about, we talked about VOO, some of these ETFs, right? They might not have dropped all that much either. But the point is, any significant drops like today, you should be thinking, I got to get in. Down below in the description box for everybody that's on YouTube for now, everybody that on the podcast later, there will be ways you can get free shares of stock from Robinhood, Webull, and Moomoo. Take your pick. Each one has their own rules. Download Webull, Robinhood, you get a free share of stock, just one. Download Robinhood and make a deposit. Let's just call it $100 or more. You'll get anywhere from 5 to 15 shares of stock. It just depends on the promotion. Moomoo, deposit $100. You have to leave it there. You have to have $100 or more in your account for 60 days. Then they will give you anywhere from 5 to 10 shares of stock, free shares of stock. All right. If you don't want to deal in the stock market, then hey, somebody else can manage your money. It's you got to do your own due diligence, or you can go see Wealthfront. Wealthfront, I have a link down below in the description box for them too, where they'll manage your money at no additional cost. I love it. It's beautiful. They'll manage your money at no cost as long as it's under $4,999. After you get above that, then they do charge you the annual fee. But in the meantime, Wealthfront, you can set it and go on about your business and forget it. All right? It's that simple. Now, let's see. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody shocked? Is any investor broken up about what happened today? Anybody broken up? Anybody? Let me know. I mean, some people are mad. Some people are mad. I mean, they're like, man, my stock went down. I'm like, and what? Okay. What does that mean? You can sell or you can hold or soon to be determined later what you want to do. So, this is what I want to know. We already know post retirement travel has set the tone, the answer. You know what to do. Buy more. All right. So, now, here, I'm not going to put this on the screen. The weak jobs report, we knew the jobs report was going to be weak. This isn't. We know inflation is going to go higher. We know jobs report's going to be weak. We know inflation is going to continue to roar. We know all this, right? We know all this. This was underlying. So now you have to get to Main Street, the people that have jobs, the people that have their health care to worry about. Well, we know under the tax break bill, you know 15 to 20 million Americans are going to lose their health care that's on Medicaid and Medicare. That also means nursing homes, the people that have nursing homes, they rely on Medicaid, Medicare to pay so they can live there. So all of this industry, the Veterans Administration, all right, all of the industries, they're going to be losing workers. And these are generally well-paying jobs. So now you're going to take those jobs are going to go bye-bye. Some of those nursing homes and rural hospitals and some even hospitals that's near a city, they're going to go bye-bye. So now your health is going to be a problem to be taken care of in a lot of instances for millions of Americans, about 5 to 10% of Americans, quite frankly. That's going to put another burden on our system. So again, all the signs are leading for burdens on the system. So you can easily see this is just a hiccup. But like I said, 1 year, 4 months, you better have your credit score right, your debt down, and have passive income coming in. And oh, by the way, next time you go on vacation, you might want to find out what a US citizen or whatever country you're from, see if you can open up a bank account in another country because you might need it later. Because the federal government is talking about being able to use your 401k money in the private sector. So again, if that is going to be allowed, you will be in jeopardy because they will be playing with your money, the stock market, the so-called experts that has caused the Great Depression, the Great Recession, and other things along the way. They are going to be holding your retirement money potentially. That's insane. Like I trust banks that needed a bailout in the Great Recession, right? Oh, we wasted away all the free money, the subsidies, the tax cut, tax breaks, and all that. Can you guys give us some money to make sure we don't go bye-bye? Just let Lehman Brothers go bye-bye. Don't let us all go bye-bye because we don't want anybody to replace us and do a better job than us. So we have an extension of 2000. The Great Recession is going on now. You have to understand where you are in the timeline, ladies and gentlemen. We're not at the end game yet. I thought I was going to be dead when I saw the next Great Depression, but unfortunately, it's coming fast and furious. Our bond market. And by the way, I haven't forgotten you, gold and silver stackers. I haven't forgotten you guys. Okay? We have green lit across the board for all of it. Platinum, palladiums, copper, silver, gold. Okay? I haven't forgotten about you guys. It's all green. But are you going to buy some more today? Because your dollar cost average is going to go way, way up higher, right? All right. Now, back to the situation at hand. Let me know what you guys are doing out here. All right. I'm expecting over $2 in dividends next month. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. On MSTY, I agree with you. SMCY as well. I'm thinking that as well for all of it. I mean, I expect a recovery of some sort. If you don't buy, that's fine. But the one thing you don't do now is sell. Exactly. Dashboards look all red, but that's just a color. That's just a paper loss. Exactly. We know the game by now, team. Exactly right. We've been saying it for years. Buy when there's blood in the streets. And you know what? There's an effect also on up and coming stocks that are now $10, $8, $12. So those might have lost as well. Knowing they're great companies coming out, you have to do your own research on those. But again, Coin and Coney and Hoodie and Hood, yeah, 16% down today, kind of unexpected. Not really. EV Place. See, this is where investors play. You're one of them. Expand on why you thought it was unexpected. See, here's the problem. When I gave out the beginning of this video, when I started saying that capitalism, corporations are looking out for their shareholders and everything, remember, crypto is not part of the real system. This administration is trying to create the new system that they can try to turn crypto into the stock market. But I do not believe it will work. You want to know why? There's no business, there's no assets, there's no money. So it is not surprising for me, CO Coin or Coney would go down. But you know what? We got some more coming. And we have dividends coming. It's working as expected. So is it next week? CONY coin? Is it next week? I don't know. But the point is, we love it. I love it because that means the dividends next payout or the next one after is going to be awesome. And now the price went down. And again, they might even be at you know what? They are. One of them is. One of them is. So I had to buy some more today. All right. So once again, stock market. I got to put this in. Oh, man. Stock market crash. That's funny. Market crash. Hold on. Everybody doesn't know what. Yeah, let me put stock in here. Everybody doesn't know market crash. They might think it's housing. It could be anything. It could be crypto. But yeah, crypto is volatile. Remember, once again, you have to have disposable income, but you also have to look at things. You understand crypto is not based on anything. It's only based on who's going to buy. So what starts happening is you have people borrowing money to buy crypto. You have people who have crypto and they're doing the margins with their crypto accounts. So when something drops 10%, 15%, and 20% on some or more, some people may be getting margin calls or just outright taken, which is what it would appear to be. Because if it keeps dropping like Bitcoin 113, that seems to be somebody selling. A lot of somebody's are selling to drop like this. So that means it probably triggered some things. People were probably getting liquidated. This is how we work. It's a capitalist system. That's right. Capitalist system, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we have to do. Yep. Post-retirement travel, true. If you are in crypto, this kind of crush happens pretty often. Nothing to worry about. Exactly. That's exactly right. Nothing to worry about. What you're supposed to do is buy more if you're into it, right? Brian P. Mr. Dividend is here. He's doing the salsa dance because on a down day, dividend reinvesting is possible. Yes, and welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Happy day, Eric. Happy day to you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it is. Happy day, SSN family. Oh, yes, smack that like button. Give it a one piece so they know you're in the house on whatever platform you're watching on. Don't forget, check out your emails. Oh, man. Oh, man. I got so much to talk about. I was thinking about, I've been talking about doing this before based on these emails. I mean, I can make a video like every three of them. I can make a video, do three a day. I mean, it's crazy. We are making money in here. TSLY is next week. Oh my God, it's getting pummeled. Pummeled. Under 8 in the sevens. Man, buy some more time. Is it yet? But it looks like Tesla might be having competition problems. Jeesh. Brian P., we keep rolling with Yield Max funds. Exactly, man. Exactly. Another nice little payout today. EV place. Yes, sir. Bitcoin and ETH were also victims of my buying fury today. Loaded them up hard. You have to. You have to. You can't sit there and let it just go by the wayside, ladies and gentlemen. Anything that's going down, you should be buying. That's it. If you are afraid, okay, that's fair. Because, not everybody has been involved in the stock market over all these years. But history does show it's going to come back, whether there's a Great Depression or whether it's the Great Recession or any other type of recessions. There's always a bounce back. But this time we're getting to the end game because we can't keep doing 3 trillion, 2 trillion, 5 trillion, 7 trillion deficits when we're broke and then print money like it doesn't cost. Money costs 4.4%. Because when you buy bonds, that's how you print money. That's 4% additional on USA taxpayers. All right, pay attention. ULTY. Yes, yes, yes. I have 5,640. Sheesh. Nice. Nice. IWMY, exactly 662. Nice. My goodness, he's been making things happen with these dividends. My goodness, man. Great job. In case everybody wants to, you know what? Let me just do this. I'll just go look. Okay. So global news, right? Oh, come on. What happened? There it is. Hopefully this is the one we just did. Even if it's not the one we just did, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go just for everybody that's watching 5600. We'll use it, leave it at that 5600. And ULTY 10 cents. So that's $568 in dividends for ULTY with 5,000 shares. And that's at an 85% distribution point, which is awesome. So if a person had 5,000 shares, which again, it can be reinvestment. So we got 500 and some dollars. I believe the stock is around $6. So about an 80, 90 shares added every month, every week or more. Uh, in the month, you get 2,000 additional shares without having to invest any more money. And now you could be, I mean, it could get up there pretty fast. Or am I wrong? 10 times. No, that's 100. Yeah, that's 100. Almost 100. Yeah, almost 100 every week. It could be. Not bad. Not bad at all. Great job. And who doesn't like 85% roughly distribution or 50%? But all I know is if it costs somebody about 30 G's, 35 G's, and they're going to get 2 G's a month, I don't know who would not sign up for that. Just saying. Just saying. That's a great return. I can't even get this on businesses. I've been checking out, you guys know I've been checking out the gas station business, and there's a lot of people selling their business inside, not the actual, well, they get part of the gas commissions and all that, but you know, the owner of the station is leasing and renting them the actual business part. And these guys, a lot of them don't even make this type of money, but yet they had to invest two, three, $400,000 so they can make $15,000, $20,000 per month or less, which is incredible, right? When you could have actually invested that one, two, 300,000 that you had bought these places for, and then just said, okay, let me get 10%. But if you go on out on this high risk, high rewards, Yield Max ETF, and you can get 10% every 2 months. Let's just say you even got 40% on your money after you spend 300 grand. Most people would be very, very happy if you got 40% back. Anybody? That's a lot. 10% is 30 grand. 30 grand times four, $120,000, $10,000 per month. And you don't have to work. Have employees. I mean, I don't see how that's a bad opportunity, regardless of if the stock market's going up or down. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Brian P662, thank you. Great job, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. It is congratulations. I picked up some shares today. Even more after you know it's going to reinvest. That's cool. Post retirement, Brian P. Congrats. Cashing up close to 600 per month. Having that on drip. You'll explode soon. He's already exploded. That's the beauty of it, because don't forget, he's holding some other goodies as well. So he's doing great. He's doing real great. Real great. Yeah, he's doing real great post retirement travel. What stock is that? That's ULTY. If welcome, hold on. I see somebody here, Terrence Taylor. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. We're talking about Yield Max ETFs. This is ULTY. It gave out 10 cents or about 10.8 cents per share owned. I just used, well, he just said it, 600. He has 5,000 shares, but he's been invested for a couple of years. And since he has, let's just use 600. If the stock price is $6, then he can get another 100 shares if he reinvested. And he doesn't have to buy any more. So next week, when there's a payout, if the payout's 11 cents, now he got $660, let's say. So it keeps snowballing. So he's going to be over $2,000 per month, which is pretty damn good. And that's awesome. It's passive, doesn't have to work for it. It's beautiful. But again, this is high risk, high rewards. And the beauty of it is you just keep buying. Thank you, Post Retirement Travel. DIM Pals is in the house. Another investor is here doing the salsa dance. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream, because I know you love that option income trading when you're doing it with Yield Max ETF stocks. And it dropped today. So it must have been a winning day for you, because they didn't just drop like 1% or 2%. it was hefty drops. So hopefully you were able to take advantage. And again, let me read the tagline. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Hopefully you're going well. ULTY, Yield Max. That's for Terrence. That's what he's talking about. It's a beautiful thing. You are welcome. Thank you, sir, from Terrence. Coney, I have 1,500. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Coney. Next week, we have, well, Crash, Feet, Google, Ozark, Snow, Tesla, TSMY, XOMO, YBit. Well, YBit should be pretty good as well because that trades on the market with Bitcoin and crypto. So that should be good. The AIY should be good. AI option income trading. And the other one, what's that other one? GPTY. That'll be interesting what's going to happen next week with GPTY. But it's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. I'm not even mad. Yep. Thanks. Sounds great. Yes, it is. Brian P. Damn. You're cranking up over 1,600 per month in just those two ETFs. The check to Uncle Sam at the end of the year will be worth it. Oh, post-retirement travel while you were gone away on your worldwide tour. Mr. Brian P. was out here doing damage. Wait a minute. Brian P. He actually has some other thousands of shares of some other Yield Max ETFs, and those are giving off like $1 or more. Imagine that. Oh, yeah, he has a nice little monthly nest egg coming in. Very nicely done. He got in early, he got in often, and now he's reaping the rewards. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be in the game, but it's awfully nice when it's passive income after your hard work. So even when the market goes down, you just get to sit here and be like, oh, okay, I'll use some of this money maybe to go buy some more shares. You got options. You don't even have to come out of pocket. This is your money. Make the investments. You're the CEO of your life, or are you an emerging millionaire? Take your pick. You're going to have to choose. You're not going to be able to sit back and relax. Yes, post-retirement travel. LFGY, generally around 50 cents per share every week, giving out about $2 per month. That's about right. LFGY gave out more than 50 cents this week, 50 cents per share. It gave out 58, which was an uptick. LFGY is crypto industry and tech portfolio. But I'm looking at here and it says 47. I thought it was 58. Okay, 47 cents. So it's down a little bit actually because it's normally around 50 cents. But that happens. But I expect it to be above 50% next payout because of what happened today. The crypto and the tech portfolio option income trading would have been nice. So I expect a nice little pop next week. So we will see. All right. I won't be on too long tonight. I just had to come on here because once again, I want to let you guys know for all those people that's worried about the stock market crash, you should be. But the facts of the matter is you need to understand what is happening. This is a reaction to the jobs market. And, you know, capitalism is not that fickle. Do they really care about the job market? I mean, does it really matter? It's going to matter in the long run, but is it going to matter for 1 month or 2 weeks? This is all going to be forgotten about by this time next week. All right. So the stock market will start creeping back up slowly but surely. These corporations are going to buy back their shares of stock to help it out. The Federal Reserve's actually going to buy some. Just saying. This is how they do it. You got to be in it to win. Brian P., I will pick up some more next week. There you go. He's going to pick up some more LFGY. Okay. It hovers. This time it was 47 cents. I thought it was 58, but it was 47 cents. And that's usually 50. It's hovered around 50. So, well, that must have been, yeah. So I'm off all the weather, but it's 47.3 cents, which is still good because that's like a 60% distribution rate. The stock has stayed pretty within a range, so you can't be mad about that. So all that is good. That's what you want. You want things in a range. You don't want it to just drop like TSLY has dropped, right? That that's not good. We don't want it really dropping. We want it to stay within a range, like $7.75, $8.10. We don't want it to be like 707. I don't know if it dropped that low, but I'm just saying you don't want to move a dollar away. You want it to stay within a certain range. If it's LFGY, or what's the other one? Not LFGY. I'm thinking of oh, what's that one? It's Pelletier, PLTY. That has stayed within a 62 range to around 69.70 while giving out great distributions. I don't know what happened today with that. I wasn't interested in buying more, but the fact of the matter is, if it stays within a range and you can get 60-70% return, that's what you want. So that's how we're doing it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let me know if anybody has any other type of take on this stock market. Are you going to bail out of it altogether? That's what I want to know. Tamara Larry's in the house. Another investor's here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. All right. Hello, all is her tagline. Hopefully, you're doing well. Hopefully, the sons are doing well and everybody's happy. But Tamara Larry, since you're here, let me know what you're doing with the 7 palms. Let me know. All right. Whether you want to WhatsApp me or let me know now. Let me know. Also, uh, that's it for that. But I'm glad and hoping that you still are hanging with the stock choices, even though the market did its little hiccup. Dividends matter. So hopefully you joined us with the dividends payouts coming out. So that would be awesome as well. All right, let's go. I'm just gonna go around and I still find this incredible. Trump sacks BLS chief after poor jobs report as credibility of US economic data comes under fire. Okay. See, this is what people were worried about. And the rest of the world is like, if you're an investor, you need to know the real numbers. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm an investor, and I'm going to tell you right now, any job report numbers that come out that said things like, well, we gained 150,000 jobs, right? First of all, you could believe it, but here's the problem. I gave you guys at the beginning of this live stream an example of what happens when you do tariffs and you have less jobs and people lose their jobs. That means you have less jobs. It's not going to get reported until they release the numbers next month. So, the job of the BLS chief is to know the numbers. When you have somebody who says, I don't want to look bad, so fake the numbers, well, then now you're going to lose investors' confidence. Not only are you going to lose investor confidence, you're going to lose the world's confidence because then they're going to go, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. These guys aren't maybe doing as good as it appears. Maybe we don't want to buy bonds from the United States to allow them to print more money. Maybe we'll start selling our bonds because we don't trust them. And that's like a third world country. That's my pet peeve. I told you guys we live in a third world country. You guys just don't know it yet. Some of you. So sooner or later, this is damaging. damaging that this maneuver, because now this puts into question, if you're an investor, you have to start thinking like, wait a minute, are these numbers real? Well, we know they're not. Let's just face facts. If somebody came to me tomorrow and goes, Eric, the manufacturing jobs, they're rising, I would be like, how? I mean, even if you, that would be ridiculous. There's no corporation that's created any new factories anywhere. So what are you talking about right now? That can't happen. The only thing that's going to happen is businesses are going to lose business. They're going to shut down. They're going to lay off and shut down their lines. So that means there's going to be less workers. So if somebody says that the manufacturing, I'd be like, yeah, it should be down. There's no way it's high. Just like somebody saying tariffs don't affect United States consumers. That's the same thing. You know it's a lie. You know it's affecting United States citizens. So how can you be shocked when somebody says, hey, inflation went up? Of course. This isn't some surprise, unless, of course, you believe the people that are saying, oh no, no, inflation, tariffs don't cause inflation. If you believe that, then of course, so you wouldn't expect days like this to occur. You'd be like, you would have been going gung ho on the stock market. Now, when a day like this happens, now you're going, why? Why? Well, you know it was going to happen. It's just a dip. But there has to be fallout from losing all of these businesses, losing all of these employees, losing people getting laid off in the thousands. This isn't just like 50 people, 20 people getting laid off. You also have disrupted our supply chain for food and manufacturing by having people that are here on protective status, people that go to court on immigration, trying to become a legal immigrant citizen, going to court. You're going down to the immigration offices where people have to report in every week. And then they go back to go work on the jobs that Americans don't want to work: fruit, vegetables, housing. So, what do you think's going to happen? You've wiped out hundreds of thousands of jobs from that with no replacements. So now American businesses that hired these individuals, guess what? Jobs aren't getting done. Lawsuits ensue. And the jobs still aren't getting done. So now you have a standstill. So again, all of that plays into what's going to happen, and it's going to play into 1 year, 4 months from now. You better be ready, because if you have good credit, you're going to be able to buy up an empire, and you'll be able to run it better than these fools doing it right now, because you'll be doing it for good reasons. I hope you're not going to be like these other guys that go, oh, look at all these houses. I have $20 million. I'm just going to go buy up apartment buildings and turn them into rent to own condos and do all this crazy stuff and help nobody. Right? That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So Trump sacks BLS chief after poor jobs report. Now the credibility now is going to start. This is another reason the stock market dropped today. That's a problem. Um, this is going to be bad. This is not good. This is really bad. You guys don't understand, from a worldwide perspective, people are going to start questioning what our numbers are. Are they reliable? And investors are also going to be questioning that. By the way, there was a stock market crash in 1987, 89 as well. And there just so happens to be something that's happening. You know how the US dollar has decreased in value in the last 6 months? 10.7%. That's what happened before another recession. stock market crash in the 1987. See, when you have historical guidelines, so to speak, record, you can see what happened before this happened. What was in play? Well, we had the tax cut tax rates because of Reagan and his shenanigans. We had a little tariff wars, but not to this extent. We had jobs being lost because they were going overseas. Remember, that's the era of manufacturing started increasing in China and in other countries outside the US. So we're losing manufacturing jobs. So you have the same type of scenario, not exactly. It's just similar, but it's close. So this is why this is no surprise that this is going to happen. But you have to take advantage, ladies and gentlemen. My gold and silver stackers, here's what I want to say. This is why I always say have a little bit of gold and silver, right? It's because of times like this, if the economy goes south, let's just say not the stock market, but the economy, where prices are high, your gold that you've been collecting over the last 5, 10, 20 years, you've dollar cost averaged up if you've bought more, but you have no revenue coming in. So all I get is whatever I can buy in 2010 is the same thing I can buy in 2025. So I don't make more money. I still pay the inflation price. Yes, it's the same, but staying the same means I didn't gain anything because I'm just buying the same thing. Versus if you were in the stock market, well, uh, you would have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times your number because everything has happened since 2008. Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump, all-time record highs on all of them. So again, and you would be getting paid today's money as dividends as well if you'd have been on the dividend plane. So just saying, just keep that in mind. All right, Brian P. Flesh-eating bacteria leaves 8 dead, 32 sick across Gulf Coast states. See, Brian P., we talked about this. That was like 2.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. The flesh-eating, and remember the brackish waters and all of that. We talked about it on the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. And this is no surprise. It's in the Gulf Coast states. That's where the water and the rivers, a lot are coming down. And people are in there. And that's where the flesh-eating starts. And oh, by the way, I don't think there's any way to stop it. There's no cure other than plastic surgery. Um, yeah, brackish water. I never even heard of the word brackish until I was hanging in Florida when I was doing the restaurant equipment biz. And somebody goes, "Hey," I go, "What's up with the rivers around here? Some of these rivers look brown, like they're contaminated." And they just were like, "Oh, you mean the brackish water?" I was like, "This is a thing? Like, you don't care about clean water? I mean, it's a river. Why isn't it like bluish or I should see blue? What is this? I'm California kid. I want to see blue. I don't want to see brownish, blackish water. And I don't want to see fish coming up on the beach flip-flopping either." That's what I was like, hold on a minute. This is normal? Hold up a second. They're like, yeah, this is, don't worry. I was like, this is insane. People are swimming in brackish water. And guess where those flesh-eating bacteria resides? A lot of them, which is crazy. So that's no surprise. I'm surprised there hasn't been an epidemic, but that is an epidemic, quite frankly. 30-some people, there was people before that for the warning. And people I don't understand. Every time. I'm scared to go in the water these days. Hell, got sharks swimming up on the beach now or swimming up within 2 feet of water. Sheesh, that's crazy. 3 feet of water, you got sharks. They know where their meals can be had, but this is crazy right now. What's going on? And now we have the flesh eating bacteria. No way to stop it. Let me just pull this up. Um, oh, spelling bacteria wrong. 32 dead. Let's do it that way because that'll bring up this latest article then. There was one before because we talked about this 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks back when it happened before, telling people to be careful. Yeah, here it is 7 hours ago. The flesh eating bacteria is fatal for 1 in 5 people, according to the CDC, which warns that some people die within a day or two. Oh, man. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. 4 dies from Florida flesh eating bacteria. This is not good. 8 dead now, 32 sick across Gulf Coast states. Oh, man. Oh, man. 4 dead. Infections rise in Louisiana. What the hell? Sheesh. Wow. 32 cases, 8 deaths from flesh eating infection recorded in this is 1 day ago. Yikes. That's all I can say. Yikes. Yikes. Be careful out here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, let's just put it a different way. Let me put this in perspective. You have a government who hired a person that doesn't even have a medical degree to run medical. Surgeon General doesn't even have one. I mean, this is insanity. RFK doesn't have anything, and he's running the health thing. Surgeon General doesn't even have a medical license. This is insanity. And you don't think bad things are going to happen and you cut off science and research? It's all bad. This doesn't seem like anybody's coming to save your ass. It seems like somebody's trying to hurt your ass, if you ask me. So you got to be careful out here, ladies and gentlemen. There's all kind of bacteria, there's all kind of infectious diseases that are going to go unchecked because people aren't going to be vaccinated. People aren't going to, if you're against it, it's fine. I mean, I don't like, I've, I, ever since I was 18 years old was my last vaccination until I came to visit my mom during COVID. And I was thinking in my head, man, if I actually show up, I don't take the vaccine and she dies from it, I would never be able to live with myself. So that's the only reason there's never any other needles coming in my body from anything. Um, but things such as measles and stuff like this, I'm like, that's getting a bit carried away not to get handled. I mean, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida have contracted infections this year from flesh eating bacteria spread through salt water and raw shellfish. See, salt water, raw shellfish. You know what? Speaking of shellfish, yeah, people are like, Eric, you're going to eat some oysters. I'm like, no, I don't. But I do eat oysters. But here's the thing. I'm like, no, not unless they're fried. I need some fried oysters. I need them cooked. I'm not eating that stuff that's just like out of the water. That ain't happening. Um, Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going to go down. And you don't have people that's going to get this information to pay attention. Their salt water, their food that they're going to possibly be eating. Um, it's 17 people have gotten sick. 4 of them have died in Louisiana. And again, they're not telling the whole story because there's people that died 2.5, 3 weeks ago as well. So this is mounting up. This is not just 8 deaths. This is more than 8. Yep. Florida reports 4 deaths. Uh, that was July 14th. Just so you guys know, this is what I'm talking. Yeah, that was it. 2.5 weeks ago, like we said, that was Florida leads the nation cases of this, a rare but deadly flesh-eating bacteria that thrives in warm, brackish water. This is the one 2 weeks ago, a little more maybe, because it was July 14th is when this came out. This is what I was referring to. It's been happening. It's more than just these people dead. There's 4 dead from then or more. So they're not giving you a whole this thing about withholding information. We don't know if there's 100, 200, 300, 500 people because these states don't even want to give out information. This is crazy. This is crazy. This can't happen. Well, it's happening, but I'm just saying this puts you at risk, ladies and gentlemen. High risk. Here we go. PLTY is a beast. You got that right. But so is the source stock of Palantir PLT. That's right. Palantir is an option trader's dream, full of premium juice. Oh, yeah, I'm sure of that. You know what? What happened with Palantir today? PLTR. What happened? Because it would be nice if that had a nice little pullback. That'd be awesome. Um, what's happening? It's not giving me 154. It didn't pull back that much. Early in the morning it did, but not really. It went down 2 point only $4 loss, but it's still at 154. All-time 52-week high is 160. And then it rose back up. They got the $4 back to 158 after hours. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Or is it? No, it's 155. Sorry. So it went back up $1 or roughly 60 cents or something. But this is what I'm saying. These type of companies don't operate within the realm of the stock market, so to speak. These guys have their own. When you have facial recognition, AI, government contracts, guaranteed revenues, then you're not the same as any freelance company that doesn't get those things. So they have a huge advantage. And that includes Microsoft, that includes Tesla, that includes Nvidia, that includes all of them. Google, I mean, they have a huge advantage because they have government contracts. Amazon, all of them. And that's why you got to be in the game. See, look, 11 hours ago, Palantir lands 10 billion Army software and data contract. Can you believe this is insane? This is crazy. How much money has Palantir got this year alone? Good God, $100 billion? This is insane. Oh my God. Room to grow, still room to grow. But the option markets were, I'm sure, in a tizzy early morning. PLTY in a couple of weeks would be very, very nice, ladies and gentlemen, on the dividends side. From Max ETF, PLTY. If you want to buy the stock, it's PLTR. That's Palantir. No dividends. So there you go. All right. I'm not going to be on here that much longer. I just want to come in here and talk about this stock market crash. It slide by when you have opportunities for 52-week lows on some stocks that can give you, you know what? Let's go. I'm going to do something else. It's Friday night, right? Friday night, just got paid. Party's bumping. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's that? Uh-oh. Okay. Thought I was going to have a problem here for a second. All right. Now, oh yeah, it's Friday night. It's always story night, right? No stories just yet. Hold on a second. Okay. JEPQ, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. It dropped $53.81. Some people would say, hey, Eric, what's going on? It's going to give out, if I'm not mistaken, If I'm not mistaken, it's going to give out almost $7 in dividends this year. Let's see what it says. JEPQ, the yield was at 11.48%. They said the annual payout is $6.18 per share, but the thing is, this is giving off more than $7. That's interesting. They're saying $6.18 per share. And what I mean is 65, 60 cents. It's giving out like 60 cents a share or 55. I can't remember. Hold on a second. 44, 49, 62, 59, 54, 48, 45, 45, 618. All right. 11.48 then it is. It's saying $5, but it's not $5. It's going to be $6 and something according to these guys. But anyhow, 11 point ETF is not bad. So if you want to stay on something Hold on. Mic check, mic check. Oh, get turned off. How did the mic get turned off? Oh, my. Man, these guys have tricks. You're on mute. Thank you, man. You guys got tricks. Hey, Eric, we can't hear you. Thank you, man. Can't hear you, Eric. Thanks, E. White. Yeah, I guess you guys couldn't hear me for a while. He will see my message next. Exactly. Okay. Thank you, guys. Oh, man. I was like, man, things are lighting up. Hold up. Thank you. But anyhow, good thing you didn't hear my rant then. All right, I can hear you now. Thank you. That is weird. It just automatically shut off. Guess they don't like my conversation, that harmful rhetoric. It's all right. It's okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave this hour again. I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, I was talking with Mo. I don't want to give that story out. Um, let's see. That's funny. Oh, that's funny stuff. Um, uh, I've been trying to think of some of my little poker things because I got to go to Vegas, go see my aunt, and make sure she's still alive and kicking. And I was thinking about some poker stuff because I want to see some guys that I haven't seen in like 15 years. And I've been trying to figure out if I'm going to go to where I'm going to go. But I saw Poker, what is that? Poker Go live stream. And I saw a few people there. And then I saw Poker Go cash games, saw a few guys there. And apparently they have a studio in Vegas. So I think I'm going to go over to Vegas, you guys, and go entertain and go see about some, maybe even play some poker. We'll see. Come out of retirement, so to speak. Not really, but play a little bit and talk to some guys. Have them on. The one I saw, one of these poker guys, Jeff Gross. We had a poker tournament, and it was in Aruba. And you guys might have heard of names like Phil Hellmuth, and he's about the only one that I can remember there. No, David Devilfish Ulia. If you know poker back in the day, these guys are. The guy named Black is there. Sean Rice is there. A bunch of guys that can play are there, and so we're just having a blast. Like I said, Devilfish Uliet. He's normally just a reserve guy from like England or something. Has that accent. Anyhow, I don't know exactly where he's from in the UK or what. But all of a sudden, he's sitting there talking to us like, "Hey man, what's happening? Glad you guys are here." It's like a party. Next thing I know, I'm look up. He's on stage rocking with the band, lead guitarist. I was like, "What the hell is this?" The dude's always reserved, cool. Never struck me as a musician, but apparently he was a freaking badass musician. He's dead now. So as we're playing, as we're having fun, it's time to go and come down. It's usually held at the Radisson, but I'm staying next door at some place. And this guy named Sasha, he's staying next door. Come downstairs. We got to go to the airport. So Sasha, he's walking from the front door and he's walking back like, "Hey man, are you going to the airport today?" I said, "Yeah, we're leaving, man. Probably on the same. We're on the same plane." He goes, "I don't have any money." I was like, "Okay, I don't have any cash on me either." He's like, "Yeah, I got it. So I got to go to the ATM machine." That's when he says, "I got to go to the ATM machine." I went to the ATM machine. It's not working. I was like, "What?" All right. So I go to the ATM machine. It doesn't work. I use cards that are in America, outside of America. None of my stuff works. I'm like, "Oh shit, we can't get to the airport." And so the wife is with us at this time. She tries hers. Her cards don't work. We can't get any money. We can't even get to the airport. Remember, there's no Uber at the time. There's none of that. No ride sharing. So you just can't call and do anything. So this guy who I've never seen in my life is sitting at the front door and he says, "Hey, man, what's up? Don't you remember me?" I'm like, I've never seen this dude in my life. But I'm like, "Hey, man, what's up?" He says, "You need some money?" I was like, "Yeah, we all tried the ATM. We can't get money now. We can't get a ride to the airport. It's all bad right now." He's like, "Don't worry, man." So he just pops out like a few 20s, sprinkles them around. "My name is Jeff Gross." I was like, "Oh, yeah, we played at whatever." I was like, "Yeah, I didn't recognize you," because he had a beard and all this stuff, and I didn't really recognize him. So he's like, I think he gave like 150 bucks. It was more than enough. He just, "Hey, man, I'll see you guys later. Nice to see you. Hopefully, I'll see you in Vegas, whatever we're talking, right?" So then it's, uh, it's I don't know, a year later, maybe something like that. So now I'm sitting at the Hard Rock in Punta Cana for uh, the poker tournament that's there, and all of a sudden there's a guy that's in the lobby, and you can hear this guy talking like, "Oh man, I don't have any money. I can't pay. I got to get back. I just came over here because the tournament's over here. I'm not staying here like everybody else. I'm just going down." I was like, looked up. I was like, "That looks like Gross." I was like, "Gross, man. What are you doing up in here? I don't believe it." He's like, "Yeah, man, I needed some money." I was like, "Don't you remember in Aruba? You gave me Sasha. I was with the wife." He's like, "Man, I don't remember that." So I had to give him back the favor in Aruba. I mean, in Dominican Republic, which is funny as hell. So now Jeff Gross has a podcast. His podcast is in Vegas. So I'm hoping to have him on. So, or I'm going to be on his. So we'll see one of these days. There you go. Like the stock market, back to poker. Exactly. Coming back to the table with the vengeance. Exactly, man. Exactly. Exactly. I'm watching these guys how they play now, and it's very funny how they play. They play with this GTO or GTA, whatever the hell. Back in the day, you had to have play with. You notice how people's tendencies are. You notice how they play. Now they're going by this card. They apparently have mathematical equations in their head prematurely. There's apparently some these two cards, you have a great chance of 60% chance of winning or 40%. It's something like that. I'm not familiar with it, but these guys were telling me and I just started laughing. I'm like, I don't even entertain that type of playing because you really play against your opponent because you understand if you pay attention with poker, a lot of people, it's really about you just look at tendencies. You get to study humans. It's a very good sociology study, and then you get psychology involved as well. So it's very interesting. You'll see people do things that you might think is normal in the ordinary world, but when you're playing poker, you'll see people do things like they might even just do a hand gesture, and you're thinking, "Oh well, the dude just brushed his eyes and looks at his cards, and then he raised you or raised somebody." And then the next thing you know, you you might be in a hand with him, and then you'll see him do this, and it's kind of like, is the guy just nervous twitch, or is this something that's like a sign? It's just little stuff that you're just thinking, but then all of a sudden he raises you. Now you're like, hold on, what's this dude doing out here? Let's find out what's going on. So there's little things like this, and that's why you pay attention to your opponents all the time, every hand. Even though you don't play, you see how they play their hand. You see their betting sizes. You see if there's any tendencies that start occurring, and then you'll start seeing there are tendencies. People do have tendencies. So, and then that's why a lot of people, your artery right here, And you see when on TV, a lot of people have hoodies or they'll cover their head and do things like that. They do those shenanigans, right? Well, I'll give you guys some other little tidbits, even though none of you are probably poker players, but there's other tidbits. A person could have pocket aces, which means they have ace ace. We're playing no limit, right? You will not believe people start shaking when they have AA sometimes. Literally, they'll start moving their hand. They'll be sitting there picking up their card, then all of a sudden they like a rush because they know, okay, AA is nice. You're going to win a lot of the time, but you don't win all the time. But people will start shaking. It's crazy. And so now you'll notice this person, their hands start moving whenever they have a good, very powerful hand, KKAA. They'll be like, and then they turn over ace ace. And they're like, what were you shaking for? What's going on? But those are the little things that happen. It's all crazy. All kind of crazy stuff happens. I bet the security around those poker tournaments are very strict now. Do they search you? No. Do you think some of them are using AI? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because you have earplugs you can have in there, right? You could be thinking they're listening to music. Somebody could be talking to them. See, I mean, there's all kind of things. Somebody could be standing. People are standing behind you while you're playing. That's why you got to hide your cards, right? Don't let anybody see your cards because even people behind you can see your cards. You don't know if they're behind you or tipping off anybody, and some of their friends is in the game. Yeah, it's kind of there's these aspects to it that gets overlooked unless you really play, right? All kind of things happen, you know, like you could play cash games. So let's just say I go to Vegas and I go, okay, I'm going to go to REA. But when I show up, right, I'll show up. I don't know any of these guys. They could be friends, right? We could have 8 people at the table, 6 people at the table, 2 or 3 could be friends. They could be doing signals. You never know. So these are the type of things that why you pay attention to people when hands are going to see if somebody's like interacting with people, looking at people, winking at people, doing crazy stuff. These are all the things of survival if you play professionally, because not everybody's on the same playing field. Because a lot of people don't realize casinos, they pay players to come play. They stake them so there's somebody to be at the tables. And sometimes it can be one person or two. And so now there's a dynamic that's different. They're playing with the house money. That's sort of like their job to make the game, right? To make a game go. But people don't realize not everybody may be playing individually. So all these things is why people get shot, right? Like, like in the Western days, Hickok pulling weapons on people, right? I mean, this is why things can happen. It gets crazy. Speaking of that, Gilbert Arenas, dumbass, doing some crazy stuff. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He was a basketball player, Agent Zero for the Washington Wizards for the most part. Messed up his knee, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell's going on? High stakes poker in a home that you apparently rent. Now, you can get off the hook. I rent it to somebody. I don't know what they're doing. Hopefully, that's the case because I would hope that man did not involve himself in that type of business. It's unnecessary. Unnecessary. You had neighbors going, "Hey, how's all these people coming here?" Neighbors probably called up and been like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on over here. I see women. I see luxury cars. I see security. What's happening?" All right, let's go. I'm going to close this out in a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. If there's anything that you want to discuss, let it be known now. The chat room is wide open no matter which platform you're on. And if you see this in replay, make sure you have any questions. Make sure you compliment down below. Ask the questions. It's always better live because you have all these investors, all these business owners, all these guys are here in the house. You should take advantage of this. We have a lot of people with a lot of knowledge. So take advantage. I'm going to give you a few minutes. All right? I'll give you a few minutes. All right. I'll give you guys another story. Then it'll be Friday night's over because you guys don't realize. You guys know Stop Struggling Now. I've been doing this now for over 6 years. 6+ years, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank all of you. I love your support. I love your camaraderie. I appreciate you guys being here with this journey. We've been through a lot of things. And before I ever showed up, when I was a young gun, I was just talking with my dad today, and you know, you know my terminology, slaying dragons, right? And so I was like, man, I've been slaying dragons so long, I can't. It's normal. And so I was telling him, I said, I'm out in Cali, and how I started telling him how the government started being after me. One way was because I was doing my car thing, right? That's the state of California. And then I used to hold seminars. You guys are familiar with seminars. You're familiar with these things now where people say, come to my event and give us whatever amounts of money, and we're going to tell you how to get rich by tomorrow. You guys know, right? So what I did was just how I did do this channel, Stop Struggling Now. Uh, we try to make sure that you use your money to make investments for you and your family, not go around giving people 5,000, 2,500, 10,000 to go listen to them talk and give you some paperwork. That money could have been in the stock market or an investment that gives you a return for the rest of your life. So back to the point though, I was actually, while I'm doing car stuff, taking names, kicking the car company's business, kicking their ass, I actually was also doing seminars, real estate investing seminars. So people would say, how much is it? I said, it's free. There's plenty of real estate around for people to do deals on. And I wasn't one of those guys that I'm partnering with you to snake the deal or do any crazy nonsense. No, no, no. I was the one that would sit up there, hold these events, and they would be like, how can I buy real estate? It's not how it is now. It's a little different back then. And so they thought it was a convoluted. People don't understand. They would feel like, oh, I got to go through an agent. Oh, I got to go see a lawyer. Oh, I got to go see this person. I'm like, hold up. You don't have to see nobody. They're like, what do you mean? So I would start telling them, hey, which EV place mentioned Castle Rock, reo.com. I got to give a shout out to them. And EV place, he mentioned it. Go see Castle Rock REO if you want to see cheap homes. But this back in the day was an option. Real estate banked, real estate owned by banks. People would be like, what are you saying? Because we're in California. Back then, prices were reasonable. $150,000 home in Cali was 75,000 elsewhere, right? So it depends on where you're from. But the homes were like 150,000, and people are like freaked out because they felt there was so much to do. And then I would tell them, you know what? Just go down to the bank. And they're like, what do you mean? Just go to the bank, ask the bankers, where's your real estate investment, real estate owned homes or real estate? They'll give you a list. They're like, no, there's no list. Yes, they'll give you the list. But back then you had options. I don't know about now. I haven't done them in a long time. And I would tell them things like, hey, some of the homes, they'll let you take over they'll give you a payment plan because they had an existing loan on there. And they're like, no. I'd see like, okay, let's make a phone call. We would do just what I do now. I do live. So people would learn that they didn't need a 750, 740 credit score. They didn't need that. They could assume mortgage loans. So they could actually give the owner down payment and then assume the note with no money out of pocket. In other words, I shouldn't say no money out of pocket, but what I'm trying to say is if the owner would allow them to assume it and not pay them, it'd be out of no money out of pocket. They could assume notes. So I started telling them about that. I told them about a lot of stuff. So we had this going on with like 30, not that many, 20 to 30 people. And so that's what I was doing back in the day, trying to help ordinary citizens navigate. It doesn't take all of this stuff like now, down payment money. A lot of people don't have down payment money. There was no down payment assistance of any significance back then. It was like, you're going to have the 10 to 15, 20,000 if you want to buy this. There was none of this. Yeah, well, somebody's going to give you like $5,000 or $10,000 to help you out with your down payment and all that garbage. No. So your credit score did have to be 680, 620 and all that. You can forget it. No, you're going to have a high interest rate, 10%, 8% or something crazy. So all of this stuff came into play. And then the guys didn't like me doing that either. I'm helping ordinary citizens. So what happened? They didn't bother me. But a friend of mine, he says, "Oh man, I want to do one of these." I was like, "Well, you could do it." But then, of course, he saw the guys on TV selling the access. And so he got in. Well, he didn't get in real trouble. The government came to his event and said, "Hey, man, you can't do what you're doing." See, there was rules back then that they don't even enforce now. The stuff all these guys are doing with these seminars and all that, back then you couldn't do it. Yeah, they paid attention. They would show up. The SEC, they would show up. They would say, "Oh, it looks like you're trying to sell something that goes against our SEC rules." They showed up at my friend's thing in Oakland. He thought he was doing some investment thing, but I didn't know what he was doing. So I guess he was doing something, and they came to his event and said, "Hey, man, you can't do this event and say this type of stuff. You got to shut this down." I said, "Damn, that's crazy." But anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, we've been through this before. We're going to be through it again. So stay tuned. Come back on Monday night, and we're going to find out what happens on Monday. Anybody want to make some guess what's going to happen on Monday with the stock market, with crypto markets? What do you think is going to happen? Number one, let me see if it's already happened yet, because I don't want to say what I think is going to happen and it's already happened. So then you guys be like, he read the news. No, I'm going to read the news right now. Some of the news. So what happened today, August 1st? We got a jobs report. That was one thing. The second thing is tariffs. These tariffs, all of a sudden, August 1st was tariff day again. So that's bad. Tesla must pay a portion of 329 million in damages after fatal autopilot crash. Jury says. So if you want to know why Tesla or TSOY went down, well, if it did, I'm pretty sure it did on that. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay, Trump says he moved 2 nuclear submarines after Russia's Medvedev warns U.S. Uh-oh. That's also a sign of why the market went down. Wow. BlackRock's Rick Ryder, of course, he comes to the rescue saying that the Fed's going to do a half-point rate cut in September is possible. I don't see how it's possible. Inflation's going to be over 3% by September. So it's already 3% now. It's going to get higher. Tariffs just kicked in and tariff wars just kicked in, so there's no way. I don't see if they better not do that. That would be suicide. Um, so I don't see any other thing happening here. U.S. added just 73,000 jobs in July. The other thing, numbers from the prior months were revised much lower. Again, this right here, if you can't believe numbers, yes, they're going to be revised. Every administration revised the numbers down. But these numbers that they revised down weren't just 2, 3, 5,000. It was significant. So that also hurt the market today because it's weaker than people are led to believe from 2 months ago. Not just July, not just June, but they've been May. May and June numbers are wrong. So again, that causes a problem. But it's good for us. I'm just saying, if you're an investor and to this type of day happens, this could happen on Monday too. Let me know what you guys think. Is it going to happen on Monday? Bitcoin and Ether fall as President Trump modifies tariffs and jobs data disappoints. Yeah, that modifying of tariffs, man. I just wish this dude would just stop with this. Amazon stock sinks 8% after earnings. Yep. You know Amazon's going to have a problem. We have a tariff war, and they get their products. A lot of products come from China, so their earnings are going to suffer. I mean, Corporation for Public Broadcasting to close after funding cut. That's bad. All this is bad. Coin down 16%. CON. Oh man, that's bad. But there's a buying spree coming. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what else? The US bond rate went down to 4.2. Oh no. That's a problem. Bond rates. Again, if this is third world countries, first of all, I'll give you an example. Dominican Republic, for instance, their bonds are like under $1. All right. If you go to Japan, what are their bonds like? I mean, percentage wise? No, we're talking about dollars, but Japan's is oh oh man, what is theirs? It's like I want to say like $2 or something. I don't remember. Anyhow, they're lower. Their bonds are lower than ours, and their interest rate is lower than ours. It's like 2%, right? Something like that. Because they've been flat. Nobody really, people may invest at 2%, but America's 4% for the bonds. So that shows that you're happy, that you believe in the country. When we start having bond rates, it's a 10-year yield is at 4.2. It's not 4.4. It's not 4.3. It's dropping 4.2. If this starts going down lower, there's no reason for other countries to invest in America. We can't print money. And like I said, they're going to lose faith in America. That's a problem. Let's go look at something else. Oil. Where's oil at? What's oil doing? Is oil going up or down? Oh, it's going to go down. Yeah, it lost. What is that? Lost 2.89. U.S. crude oil falls more than 2% on possible OPEC production boost. Oh my. This is not what you want to hear. But talk about USOI stock, please. USOI stock. This could be a buying opportunity for a high dividend stock, ladies and gentlemen. Post retirement travel. I think it's time. I think it's time. I think it's time. Let's see. It's could be time, because if OPEC does add oil production in the mix, oh yeah, by the way, oil prices will go down or up. What do you guys think? What's happening? It's pretty simple. If they produce oil, oil prices in America should go down, right? So, same thing. It's when they say we're going to cut production that's the problem. When they say we're going to cut production, oil prices are going to rise back up. So we're going to see how this handles. Okay, listen, $53.70. Courtesy of post retirement travel, mentioning USOI recently, last, what, Monday or Wednesday? It's $53.70. Their dividend, annual dividend yield, $29, ladies and gentlemen, per share that you own. Ex dividend date, July 22nd. So it's probably at the end of per share on a $53. That's a 54% dividend yield. Percent today. Is it going to stay in the 50s or will it drop? But all I got to say is 54% at 53.70. Even if it dropped and you bought at 53.70, you're still going to be happy because you're getting 54%. Even if it does drop down, but that wipes out any gains from your dividends. So great opportunity for somebody. Let's go. Talking about DR, any updates from your DR project? Laramar, are you checking it out this year? It's not nowhere near. They haven't even built the first, they haven't even put down a foundation of cement yet. Although they have a foundation down with rebar. Have they poured it yet? I don't know. Something came out today, but it didn't look like it appears that they might be trying to do. I don't know what they're trying to do. I'm like, hold on, these guys might have some balls here. I'm like, are they gonna have balls trying to do all of them at once? I'm in shock by what I saw. I saw a video today. Let me go check this out. Oh man. Let me go check this out. Okay, all my man, all the guys. What's this? All right. Yeah, this was like a weird video because what I don't like is a lot of these guys do these promotional videos, and they just move around so fast. Here we go. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, see how fast it moves? It's like it's like we don't know what this is, but this is the newest one. So again, uh, I don't know what they're doing. This stuff is too fast for me. I can't. I wish they would just scan so you could see, but I don't. Like I said, I don't see any cement. Well, we damn sure don't see floor one, right? We don't even see a foundation floor one yet. We see rebar. We see they might be getting something together. But no, this is absurd. This is not going to wake me in 2028. Sadly, we're going to go through the same thing that you went through with the Connor rocks. Sadly, wake me in 2028, 2029, unless they got something that we don't know about. Unless they're using panels, or they're building all the buildings at the same time. I mean, I don't know if that's possible, but if they did, that would cut down on time if they had enough employees. But under the circumstance, they're still doing that Haitian deportation workforce thing. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know this September, yeah, that deadline's going to come and get wiped out. And they haven't even started Horizon 1 either. And some people had the Horizon 1 also slated for 2025. And now even some people had their Horizon 1 slated for, I think the guy told me March or April 2026. Well, you can forget that. They haven't even started a foundation. So that's not happening. So wake me 3 years from now if I'm still alive. A lot can happen in 3, 4 years. I won't even be interested in 3 or 4 years. It's sad because I'm just gonna. I keep saying this. You know, on islands, there's a there's a wave, right? I mean, how many people go to the Bahamas now? How many people go to Jamaica? How many people go to DR? How many people go to St. Martin? How many people go to Aruba that I mentioned, even though it's by Venezuela, but nonetheless. Um, the countries at one time were the hottest places. Do you remember Jamaica, the River Falls, the Dun River Falls, Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica. Okay, that burnt. Then Oprah and did the Bahamas in Nassau, Bahamas with that building. Oprah owns the middle, they said, or whatever. All of a sudden, the Bahamas was what was old is new again, except now it's Nassau, Bahamas, not Freeport, Nassau. Now, Nassau, any big deal? The Bride, I think it was Puerto Plata in Dominican Republic at one time. I think it was called the Bride of the Atlantic. Now, Puerto Plata is rarely even mentioned. So, this is what I fear when you have a downturn and you have a country that doesn't move fast enough for their investors. Fast enough to protect your investors, fast enough for infrastructure, fast enough to keep the momentum moving. So I think it's still going to have momentum, though. That's the thing, because they're not done. In fact, they have something that the other, countries or islands don't. They have world famous beaches, not one, not two, not three. That's the difference. Consistently in the top 50. They have three. They have Michelin star restaurants. So you have this air of up and coming, and I think it's going to transcend. It's going to keep going. So everybody wake me in 2028, 2029 because I'm going to be very happy. You will be very happy if you invested right now at the right price. You can't go for more than 150K. Yeah, you're going to have to buy for less than that. So you will be happy because yours won't be built until 3 years from now. After what's going to happen in America. Remember, the bulk of people buying are Canadians, United States citizens. Those are your investors. If they're having a financial crisis, they're not coming to buy. Sure, some people will, but you're not going to have a lot. So that little few people buying is not going to move the needle. But after it all gets settled out, the dust is settled, we're all good. We're all good. All right. Let's see. We have 115K jammed up in there. So pulling out is an option for us. No, you can't. No, that's nothing you can do. How much do you have pinned down again? Half? No. Not even. I don't have nothing. I mean, I do. I don't know. You know what? Maybe one of these days I'll care. It's somewhere between I started thinking about 17 grand to 20 grand. I don't even think it's 20. I think it's 18 grand or 17 grand. I think it could be. It could be 19 grand. But anyhow, it's somewhere around there. It was 13.3 down. And then I had every 3-month payments. So I don't know. It's either 16 or 18. It's somewhere in there. After that, I felt no need to go any further because I could see the writing on the wall. Just like I told you guys back then, I said they can't do anything. It's not going to be done by 2025. So it's been a year and a half since my last payment. So, but I wasn't about to give them another 17 grand. I mean, come on. That wasn't going to happen, right? Remember, we did actually I had to give him more than that. So maybe I gave him more than 20. Oh yeah, 1737. I don't know. Yeah, I would have had to. Oh, I had it escalating too. That's why the numbers don't match. Yeah, it was escalating. The closer we got, the more I had to pay. Throw in an extra couple hundred per month or something like that. So I got in low because of this very thing, right? Pay the least amount for the first few months if you can, and then escalate it later. So that's what I did. So that gave me so I was able to be in for 6 months to a year, right? Putting down a small amount and then find out what they're doing. So when I found out what they were doing, that it was like they're BSing around, lying, doing all kind of crazy, I said, all right, I'm not going to pay you guys no more because you're not going to be able to complete this in 2 years. We're talking about 4 towers, five towers, H1. Talking about 5 towers and all the rest of the stuff you got to do, and you only have 2.5 years. You guys know I'm a numbers guy. So 5 towers times 17, 85 floors. You have 30 months. You could easily see that's not going to work. Right? Nobody's building a floor a month or hell, a floor every 2 months. So it could not work even if they could start last year. A year and a half ago, it wouldn't have mattered. Can't work. So I'm headed to Puerto Plata in December on a cruise. There you go. The Bride of the Atlantic. I think that was it. Hold on. Let me look it up. Let me see if that was it. Yeah, due to cruises, by the way. I think that's what it was. Back in the day, that's why that was called what it was, and it was like a golden era. Everybody used to go on cruises and go hang in Puerto Plata, in that area. In fact, I don't think I ever did a video on this. Yep, yep. The Bride of the Atlantic, La Novia del Atlántico. That was it. Romantic scenery, beauty, scenic beauty. The city's name meaning Silverport. Yeah, that was it. Back in the day. Oh, speaking of that, I was getting ready to tell you the other story to this. Puerto Plata, because it was the Bride of the Atlantic, people don't realize back then they had a receipt. Dominican Republic had a second life. This is their second life. Back then they had Puerto Plata. They had all inclusives in Puerto Plata, outside of Puerto Plata, on like Sosua type things. You can actually go on YouTube and look for Puerto Plata all inclusives, and you'd be like, where's that at? You'll be like, wait, it does not exist anymore because water, contaminations, because, their infrastructure and the buildings started breaking down. So they were like, F it, we're out. So they have in Puerto Plata to this day ruins, so to speak, of all inclusive properties that in the heyday The Bride of the Atlantic had a people going there for the all inclusives. Punta Cana, Cap Cana, all that jungle. It wasn't even really on the map. Although they had a few all inclusives in Punta Cana, but it's not even what it's gonna be. It was just like this little place over there. It wasn't a place where everybody went. And then, of course, the Rainieri family and a few others, Punta Cana group, they said, "Nah, man, we got these cool ass beaches down there. We got this. It's flat for the most part. We have different terrain, and it's by Santo Domingo, about an hour, hour and a half away. Good idea. And Casa de Campo, where all the rich people want to stay. We got that's there. Yeah, we should build something over here." And the rest is history for Punta Cana. Puerto Plata, though, not what it was in its heyday of the Bride of the Atlantic, but it's still there, still hanging. But yeah, that'll be a little homework. Go check it out. Which payment plan were you under? No, 10 30, 10 30 60, 10 30 60. That's what it was. 30% of around 130. It's a little over 132 or 3. I can't remember. Um, oh, yeah. So it was only, yeah, yeah, 50 some thousand. Yeah. So I owed them 30, 36, 37 over 20. No, it was 20. Was that right? Yeah, 20. I had 20 some payments at the time. So, so every 3 months it was escalating. So I would have had to pay them every 3 months, 5,500 for like 3 or 4 months. Then it went to 6,000, something like that. It was something along those lines. But this year, I would have had January, February, March, January, 3. Yeah, we would have had another 3 payments. So there would have been like 18,000 this year by itself. So that's how I structured my payment because if they were going to do some shenanigans, remember, Larimar was like grandiose. It was out there. It would have been top 3 in the world if they were going to build what they said they were going to build. So, they're going to build it. It's just unfortunately going to take a lot longer. Um, but 10, 40, 10, 30, 60. And E. White, who was here earlier, you guys know the story. They thought I was E. White. I was at All Inclusive in Punta Cana in 2009. Like Eric said, it was jungle outside of the resort. Exactly, man. It was crazy. It was crazy. People would be like, "Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave this place. It's not safe." I'm like, "Cut it out, man. It's safe for me everywhere." But I still didn't leave, though. It's because that was like my first visit was around a little after that. Thinking the 20, I don't know, 13, something like that. 2014, 2013. Hell, it could have been. Yeah, the Ibero was next door, though. Well, not really next door. It didn't seem like it was next door. It was like a ways. It was a ways. It was crazy. There's an all inclusive on the north side of the island called Santa Fe, and it's a beauty. Next to the ocean with a bunch of waterfalls and water park. I never heard of that one. Never heard of it. That's interesting. Never heard of it. But you're saying North Sosua. They're calling it, oh, wait, Santa Fe as in recreational complex or Santa Fe all inclusive? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It comes up all inclusive, Puerto Plata. It Googled it anyhow for me. So that's pretty cool. Never heard of that one. But again, you don't really hear like it's not in its heyday. Yeah, Santa Fe all inclusive. I don't know if that's there though. Yes. Santa Fe, Puerto Plata, all inclusive, Santa Fe Club, Sosua. Yeah, you don't even hear about that. But then again, it is what it is. The most people listening to Punta Cana, Punta Cana, Punta Cana. That's what everybody's talking about. Punta Cana. 2009. I can't even imagine what it was like then. I don't remember when the first time. I think it was 20. Hell, it might have been. It might have been like 2011, 2012, or something. But I didn't leave though. I didn't leave. I'm at the Hard Rock. I'm not leaving. Santa Fe Recreational Complex. Wow. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Okay, but there is a Santa Fe too. Santa Fe Club, 1 mile from downtown. Recently renovated villa. Oh, it's a villa, so it's not even. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff over by in Sosua Puerto Plata that people don't even know. I was going to make a video. I might have made a video because here's the thing. Remember when Punta Bergadin, uh, what's his name? Vin Diesel and Louis Abinader. They're shaking hands on the beach, hugging each other, and he's supposed to bring the movie studios over there. Yeah, yeah. So I was like, how are they going to do this when there's no infrastructure in the middle of nowhere? I could have sworn I made a video about this. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But the point I'm trying to make is I was curious because I'm an investor, right? So I'm curious if they bring that there, what's the effect going to have on that area? So I was like, what's in that area to begin with? Because they're going to have to bring water treatment, if that's a thing, electricity. So I go look, and that's when I found there was already all inclusive resorts almost to that location. I said, oh, so they already have electricity and sewer lines of some sort, and somehow they got water down to some areas there, but the jungle has taken over and it's crazy. And I was like, holy smokes, there's all inclusives that are just rotting away, literally rotting away, still there. It's incredible. Incredible. EV place. I remember I've paid $35 for all inclusive Occidental Allegro Resort. Yep. I remember them. I didn't go, but I remember Occidental. They were cheap. Yeah. And see, this is the problem, EV place that I have. And probably you do too. So now you know those prices, right? Because it used to be 65, 45, different places around. Now these dudes are at 500, 600. I'm just like my mind just can't wrap around the price increase where people can charge this and get it. It just blows my mind. Um it blows my mind away. I swear it's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah. $75 all inclusive, $65 all inclusive, 35 $40 all inclusives. And then now crazy numbers. Some places could be 1,000 a night, 800 a night, 500 a night. It's crazy. That's why I have a hard time. I'm like, man, I don't want to go to an all inclusive anyhow. How can I pay? Because my brain still is on the $75 a night, $50 a night. Now I'm like, what do you mean 500 a night? No, I'm not paying that. I'll just go hang out in the city then. I mean, I'm older now. I'm not going. I don't care about your nightclubs. I don't care about the gambling. I don't care about none of that. I can listen to music, go get something to eat, and what I call general population and be good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you smash that like button. We're just having a conversation right now, but there was a stock market crash, which is a dip, ladies and gentlemen. How are you going to manage this dip? You're going to buy a little bit on Sunday night before the markets open. You're going to wait till the markets open and buy a little bit after you see what happens. You're going to take advantage of these stock prices potentially being near your 52-week low. And if it's near your 52-week low, you should not even hesitate. You got to buy some more. Your 52-week low, not the stock's 52-week low. Let's clarify. If you bought a stock at $20, that's your average stock price, and it's now $19.75, you should get a little bit more. Just saying. If you believe in your stock, you should get a little bit more. Wahoo, that Santa Fe recreational complex appears to have its own Airbnb villas. Yeah, exactly. Great price for 27 nights for a 3-bedroom penthouse, $2,000 a month. Just check their website. Yeah. Yeah, they've been building. And funny thing, nobody's ever said they stayed there. Nobody's ever mentioned it until you have. That's incredible. Nobody's ever said that's there. That's incredible. That is incredible. Yeah, they call that the Santa Fe Club. And that's crazy. How is that under the radar? Well, that's not the average price on a 7-day stay. Maybe that's why. But still, this place has nice architecture. Looks like it's pretty cool. By the beach, 3 swimming pools, private bathroom, 3 restaurants, spa, sea view, beachfront, direct beachfront access. They got other stuff, but it's wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. Looks beautiful. I'm surprised, man. Nobody's ever mentioned it at all. Buy the dip, enjoy the ripple. Exactly. You have to buy the dip right now. Things are going to get, hey, we talked about this on Wednesday, I think it was 2 days ago. I said, things are going to get crazy, but you're going to stay in. You got 1 year, 4 months. Get your credit down. You need help with your credit? I forgot to mention this. Need help with your credit, ladies and gentlemen? Then let's put it this way. We don't want you to file bankruptcy. What if you can be like the big boys? I'm going to say this. Let's just say you want to be like the big boys who get to say, hey, I know I have a loan with you. I can't pay it back, but can you somehow restructure it for me? Restructuring means, well, you owe us the $100,000 of interest. Every month that you're paying out of that 100,000, uh, it's taking off maybe uh, uh, $700. So what we'll do is we'll lower your payments and we'll extend the credit to make up the difference for us. Your term. So the person says, okay. Or if you're one of the good guys, they go, hey, you know what we're going to do? You owe $100,000 in interest. What we're going to do is we're going to shave off. We'll shave off about 25 to 30,000 of it. That'll lower your payment down to this new number. And we'll extend a few months. Which one? So you have that same type of opportunity with Resolve Finance. So go see Tracy at resolvefinance.ca or email her, Tracy at resolvefinance.com, and let her know you're trying to restructure your debt. This is what she does. She's part of the SSN Nation. She loves helping people. That's what she lives for. She helps people get out of debt without having to file bankruptcy and having the ramifications of that. And it does take a year, year and a half, 2 years, depends on each case, but they can get your debt reduced to a certain number, and then you pay it off. And then on your credit report, instead of the negative connotations, it says paid in full, green light, met your obligations. So now your credit score can rise back up because there's no debt collections or anything worse than that on your credit score. Evaded the debt collectors adding to your credit. But down below, I have ways that can improve your credit score as well. I mean, there's self credit strong. Smart credit is a monitoring system down below. Help yourself out. You need a 775 credit score by December 2026. That's 1 year, 4 months from now. So you got a lot of work to do. Pay down your debt, ladies and gentlemen. The thing is, when there's an implosion the next time, there's going to be a credit problem. They're not going to allow people with even 740s. You're not going to be treated special because they can't afford to. You're going to need a higher score. A higher score means they're going to say, oh, yes, we can sell this to this person. And this is going to be assets. Remember, after whatever happens in the future, you need assets that pay you. That's mandatory. There's no way around it. That's the only way you and your family is going to survive. And I always highly suggest you have something outside of America. Because if you don't, then you're going to be under the spell of whatever happens in America. So if your passport's shut off, good luck. Can't leave. Actually, you might not be able to do a lot of things. So if you do want to leave, do you want to walk through cartel territory? So be it. Or do you want to just get on a boat and get to an island? Take your pick. So maybe it's a little over dramatic, but all I'm saying is make sure you have options. Because if America turns into what it appears, where the rest of the world says you're a high risk country, we can't visit, right? Because there's already people that came here for some soccer tournament and they weren't allowed to get visas. So we're supposed to have FIBA, some sort of soccer event next year. Is it the World Cup? I think we're supposed to have the Olympics. So when people start thinking America is not America, then they start acting differently, and not people, but countries, government officials of other countries. So you have to keep this in mind. People would say, "Oh, we look better upon." Okay, forget the fiction. You can't. Don't believe everything you hear. Go read. Go see what they're saying in other countries in their newspapers. Go see what people from other countries are saying. When people in other countries are saying we're boycotting America, like Canadians, they're serious. That's why our tourist industry is now going to take a hit. Las Vegas taking a hit. I don't know about Orlando. Orlando seems to be immune most of the time, but again, we're going to find out the summer numbers. But there's going to be a lot of tourism numbers that are going to be down because EU's not coming. South Americans aren't coming. Australians got deported. They're upset. I mean, we got the whole world upset. There is no respect factors that's going to make you come in when you can have all the respect in the world, but we don't. But you can have all the respect in the world. As soon as your citizens are saying, we got turned away, we got searched, we got held up in detention centers for 3 days, we couldn't call nobody. That's not good because they're calling their embassy. They're calling their friends back home. And so people are like, hold on, I'm not coming. So our tourism industry is going to take a hit, which is one of the world's largest. So if you start having to lay people off and those companies have to fold maybe or reduce their, some sort of their business, that hurts. Employees get laid off. You make less revenue. Your stock price goes down. People start selling your stock. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that just keeps going. And that's the position that not only investors are going to be in, but that's everyday people. Even if you don't invest, you're still going to be going down with the ship. And if you do invest, at least you have something that can pay you, whether it's dividends, whether it's the stock price going up, even if it goes down, at least you have something that hopefully has made money for you, where if it goes down, you can sell it. Remember on Wednesday, I did say, guys, start putting some of those sell orders. If it drops down like 10, I didn't say really 10. I said 10, but I'm like, if it gets to 20%, maybe you want to have a, hey, if it drops to this price, sell. Because you don't want to have a meltdown. You don't want to lose 50% after you waited for a year or two to earn that 60, 70, 80%. And then all of a sudden it drops down to 60%. And then it drops to 50 and then drops to 40. Why not just have all liquid cash at that point? Something to consider. Don't sit around waiting too long. All right. That's the best I can do. Orlando tourism is growing, especially now with this new Universal Studio Park, Epic Universe. It's definitely showing on the bookings. My only concern is that it has become very expensive. That's another thing. That's another thing right there. It's crazy people are spending that amount of money. Okay, so I was a kid, as we all were, and I was very fortunate to be at Disney uh, week 1 or week 2 when Disney was, I would call, the only thing is, I would say I-4. I think it's I-4, but it wasn't I-4 as we know it right now. But that road, it was a road. I think it was a highway, but maybe it was a 4-lane highway. All I remember is Disney is sitting in the middle of what appeared to me as a kid a swamp. I literally saw trees looking like they burnt them down, or water or swamp. I don't know what it was. And it was in the middle of nowhere. But I didn't know and understand all that land, a large percentage was owned by Disney. Didn't know their plans was going to be coming all the way out close to the freeway, was all their stuff. It's incredible. And Orlando basically only had highway, well, it's not a highway, but 192, where all the hotels are, the old hotels. That's where everybody stayed. It was fun as hell because it was built on tourism. There was nothing else really there. So all the hotels had special deals, eat this, go over here and go for this thing, free thing here, go over there. It was cool. And of course, you had the Disney characters, Disney everything in effect. Unlike now, today, it's more like sanitized, but back then, it was Mickey costume characters all over. It was crazy. As a kid, it was awesome. And it didn't cost an arm and a leg, obviously, at the time. But this is very interesting. You say tourism is growing in light of the new visa restrictions. That is what I say about Disney. It's weird. I'm headed there also in December. Oh my, going to Orlando. That's funny. Even at Margaritaville, we as owners, every time we visit the resort and use the amenities, eating and drinking by the pool bar will cost you at least 200. And we're just talking chicken wings. Crazy. Yeah, man. Hey, upscale luxury, $20. That's what it is. Hey, what can we say? What can we say? Now, you got me curious because I cannot believe with the new Vegas has lost. They're lost in the sauce, right? Um, I can't believe with the new tourism numbers. Let me go let's see. June. Oh no, we just okay. Actually, I actually had the numbers too. Uh I had them under my tourist analytics. So I can actually go look it up, but now we're in, well, July's not going to be dropped. Um okay. Tur- God. We'll do it this way. Analytics. I'll have to. Now you got me curious. This is when I found out that the Orlando. It's shocking. Orlando had I think it was 78 million tourists last year. Shocking. And this is where I came to my conclusion about, other countries and investing. They had 78 million and they had 11,000 Airbnbs. That's it. 11,000. And by contrast, DR has over 100,000 Airbnbs and they only have 1/10 almost of their tourist numbers. 8.7 million last year, 8.7 it appears this year too. So it's very interesting how this works. And their occupancy rate, actually, though, for the hotels was only like 78 in Orlando, which made that very interesting. Very interesting, which I don't know what traditionally their numbers are, but I'm going to break it out right now because I have. This is through April, though. So here we are, just so you know, year over year, it mirrors DR, quite frankly. Okay, Orlando airports year to date. This was January through April, so it was the first. Well, they don't call it quarters because that's only 3 months, but January, February, March, and April, -5% change, 5% less in the first 4 months to Orlando than previous year. All right. Deplanements. I don't know what deplanements mean, but that's -5.4%. That's weird. Enplanements. Don't know what that means. And that says 13, so it's up 13. So that's what we have right now. But I had the other numbers. I thought it was through June. But this is year to date, so this doesn't give me anything. Where's the hotel? Hold on. Oh, I see. I didn't have the hotel. I only had it for 2024. So these numbers were 2024, 75 million total air passengers. Average hotel room occupancy in 2024 was 71.6%. Yeah, I think I missed out on some other numbers, or this should have been through June. That's weird. Hold on a second. Let me go look at something else. Dominican Republic was through June. Let's go see what they got to say. Yeah, they're through June. Okay. So anyhow, I must have gotten it from somewhere else. But anyhow, the number we're matching -5% for the first 3 months, and we know isn't February, March, April is kind of busy. Say we're down 5, so we're gonna find out whenever they release the other ones. That's weird. Oh well. It's all good, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. We're gonna wrap this up. So we went overtime, but I want to thank you. Make sure you share the videos. Make sure people know that just because the stock market went down, you got to buy in, get in, fit in. When you see companies such as Pelletier getting $10 million, getting defense contracts, all the top companies, they're being picked by the government to be winning. All right. So Microsoft, Amazon, all the big boys have been picked already. They're getting government contracts, they're getting subsidies, all of them. So they have an advantage over other businesses who don't receive government contracts, who don't receive the amount of subsidies another company or corporation receives. So just keep that in mind as you watch the stock market melt down a few days during the course of a year. You just have to take advantage. Just keep that in mind. And speaking of taking advantage, let me go do something real quick because I want to go see some Yieldmax ETF stuff real quick. I want to see what happened. See if I'm correct. Let's see. Oh, things have already started bouncing up before close, I guess. Let's see here. We were talking about, look at this. LFGY is at $35 right now. My. I love it. That's below my dollar cost average. MSTY at 1805. That's below my dollar cost average. Man. SMCY is at 2055. That's near. But it's below my dollar cost average. Oh, yes. We're going to be busy on Sunday night. This is great. YBIT not. That's coming up next week. TSLY at $7.54. I'm pretty sure that's below my dollar cost average. Yes, it is. Okay. Looks like buying day. Early morning. PSEC. Holy smokes. We're melting $2.98 a share. That's under $3. Oh my God. Wow. That, oh my God, that's a meltdown. This is high risk territory right now because that dividend is at something I've never seen in my life, $19.35 because it's $2.98. Wow, that's high risk. Remember, they do capital, prospect capital. Eeks. Invest in middle market companies located in the U.S. to fund targets. Broad range of sectors, debt and equity financing for buyouts. Ooh, that's not. Oh, that's a. I mean, we needed a rate cut for these guys to come back. Geesh, NVDY is at $17. Holy smokes, that is definitely not below my dollar cost average though, even though it's down to 17. So I'm well below. That's still crazy. Your MRNY is $2.08. Holy smokes. That's definitely below my dollar cost average. Yep, sure is. Holy smokes. Are you kidding me right now? Morrow's under $20 as well. Holy smokes, at $19. Okay, SBLK. You guys don't know what this is, but it's Star Bulk. Okay, so Star Bulk. Storage is a global shipping company which engages in the provision of seaborne transportation solutions in the dry bulk sector. The firm's vessels transport major bulks, which include iron ore, minerals, grain, minor bulks, fertilizers, steel products. The analysts love that. Something I never even talked about, but too much. SBLK is Star Bulk. 7.89% dividend yield at $18.40 price. You gotta love it. Yeah, that's above my dollar cost average. So, needless to say, it's 7.89%, and I bought way lower. It was I'm getting like 12% on my money. Just so you guys understand. So When countries are having problems, they start putting things on ships. Just keep that in mind. All right. Warehouses get full of things. They sometimes put things on ships. And that's why shipping is good to own something like that. Just to give you guys an idea. But now 7.89% is still fine. But got to have some that's low risk. Um, Also, Frontline is at 7.27. So they're both in the same part. Competitors, that's FRO, just to give you guys some other things. ORC down to $7. Holy smokes. Let's see where this sits. Nope, not lower. But still $7 to give off 20%. Sheesh. ORC, ladies and gentlemen, 20.69% at $7.07. Jesus, that means, hold on a second. What am I? That is below. Oh, it is below. Oh, I got to go buy some more ORC. That means, oh, I could move up to 20 percentage points for dividend yield. And by the way, you guys look at this. This is ORC, which is Orchard Island Capital. It invests in residential mortgage backed securities. And somehow the earnings over the last year, look at this. That's their earnings. You would think it would have went down, right? But the feds are going to do what they're going to do in a couple months. So all should be good with these real estate investment trusts with the mortgage back. But PSEC under $3 is crazy. That's a problem. But hey, 20% on your money, and this could be a lifetime. I don't think you're going to be mad. PSEC's at 19.35%. High risk, I will say that, because the feds have to cut the rate. I don't know how they're going to do that. They got to cut this rate in 3-4 months. Or it's already August. 4 months from now, isn't that going to be December? September, October, November? Yeah, that's December. How are they going to raise the rate in September and reduce the rate in December? That's crazy. All right, we're going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys for being here. A family of 4 going to Disney for a weekend will cost you at least $2,500. Oof, oof. Between hotel, food, park entrance, parking, and these parks are packed. That's incredible. I heard about this. I heard people are paying like 100 and some odd dollars per person for 3-day passes, and families of 4 cost $500 a day. It's $1,500. The hotel rooms are, I don't even know what they're charging now. $200, no, probably more than that, $200 or $300 per night. If they want to stay on the compound, maybe more. Sheesh. Wow. 1,500 just for a family of 4 to get in the park for 3 days. And you got to be in the park 3 days. The place is huge. It's outrageous. It's ridiculous. I mean, holy smokes. I don't even think I was on here the last time I was, maybe I was. It was around 2016, 17, 18, maybe, somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. Last time I went there. And I was just like, holy smokes. And remember, I saw this place when it was Disney, old school. It's a small world after all. The monorail was just to go to the couple of, they had the Polynesian, I think. I think that's what it was. Um, and so that it wasn't too much of the monorail. You just walked up. It was, it, it was no, we didn't walk up. Actually, we had to we took a boat. I think I can't really remember. It was a long time ago, but it wasn't what it is now. Now it's outrageous. It's just outrageous. There was no that nighttime thing, what we call Disney at night. That's what was a thing at one time. That wasn't there. Nothing was there. It was just what you see on the compounds. I mean, we had the river. What was that? The little Pirates of the Caribbean. Um, or was it? I was very lucky as a kid. Disneyland was open, so went to Disneyland first. So whatever was at Disneyland, they had the exact same layout at Disney World at the time. So because I was at Disneyland, we knew where every ride was, where everything was. So when we went to Disney World, it was like, oh, it's over here. We're going over here. And I think they didn't have Pirates of the Caribbean like they did in Cali. So I was bummed because that was like the only cool ass ride at the time, besides Space Mountain. But, and the log flumy thingy and all that. That was cool. But at the time, so it was when we went to Orlando when it first opened, there was no freaking Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, man, what is this? This was like one of the only cool rides. And then finally they got it, and then Orlando started to be a lot better, a lot. And they have all the room. In Anaheim, they don't have all this room, but they still have a lot of room. Walt Disney did great. All right, we're going to wrap it up. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. I've said it again. Make sure you smash the like button on the way out. If you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. And also, hopefully, I'll see you on Monday night at 8:50 p.m. We're going to find out how this all goes down. I want to hear from you if you were on a buying spree on Monday as well, because I think a lot of turmoil is going to happen over the next 3 days, because after the markets close, we have a firing of BLS, which I don't know what that has to do with anything. The Bureau of Labor Services, is that what it is? I think it's something along that line. But they keep track of the numbers. And because the numbers turned out bad, we have a guy that doesn't want that information, I guess, put out. So they fired. But I'm like, what does that mean? That means to the world that they may not want to trust you as a government putting out numbers. So how are we going to invest in you? That's bad, because remember, the top 10% own 93% of the stock market, and then the rest of us own 7. So that also will reflect on the rest of us. If people feel like the stock market may not be for them, they're not going to invest. You got to make sure everybody's feeling like the numbers are real. My decision based on your numbers is real. If you start messing around, a lot of people is going to be like, hold up. But again, remember, go to shadowstats.com if you want to know. Oh, they turned it off. Doggone it. Shadowstats.com used to have the real inflation numbers that we used to use prior to 1980. Okay? 1980, they changed the rules because of the same environment, tax cut, tax breaks, and all this BS that Ronald Reagan did. That made the same situations occur. All of a sudden, people are losing their jobs. All kind of stuff is happening, right? This is the same thing. So they also changed how you calculate inflation, so it wouldn't be as bad. So now when you hear Jerome Powell say, well, our target inflation is 2%, it's 2% based on the 1980 CPI. It's 4 or 5% if you go before 1980. That's why I always say I can't rely on those numbers. So when they say it's 2.7 or 3%, like they're going to say, 3.1 or 3%, the July inflation year over year, it's really more like 6, 7, 8. Double it. It's easily double. It's not 3%. It's probably like 9 or 10. So if you had Shadow Stats, which again, I don't think it's operating anymore, shadowstats.com, if it is, then you would know the real number because they keep track of both. So then you can see there's a disparity, the discrepancy between the two. So just keep that in mind. And as an investor, you need to know the real numbers. Because if you know inflation is 10%, then you know prices artificially are going to go higher. So that's going to create less revenue for businesses as people can't afford it and not going to buy it. Right. So some of these corporations you'll see are going to miss their estimated revenue numbers because it's not really inflation is not really 2 or 3%. It's higher. And so if you make $1 billion and you're off by 4 or 5% due to inflation, that could your revenue numbers are going to reflect that, but you're not going to know it, right? You're going to be like, why do we have less revenue? Why do we have less profit? What's going on? That's because they're calculating things on 3%, not 10% inflation. Those kind of things you need to know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here once again. I love you guys. Just make sure you stay safe this weekend. A lot of people are going through stress. People are getting laid off. People are getting shot and killed. Again, it just keeps going and going. Just never know. You have to make sure you're in safe spaces if you can, because even safe spaces, what is that? Going to the grocery store is a safe space, right? I mean, going to the beach, it's a safe space, right? I mean, you're not thinking anything's going to happen, but just make sure you try to protect yourself the best you can. Don't try to argue with people that you don't even know. And be kind, polite, courteous, and do the right thing. Give that good karma off. And all I can say is make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.